Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. I'm back today with another project with Cricut Venture. So today we're going to talk about batching projects and how Cricut Venture makes those easier. Now this video is sponsored by Cricut, however all projects and opinions are my own. So now big or small batching projects or cutting them all at one time can save you an extreme amount of time. Whether, like my example today, you are making favors for a party, or whether you are making designs for a shirts that you're going to sell in your craft business. Either way, you might want to cut a ton of something all at once. So I'm going to make favors for a party today, and I'm going to make over 100 of these. So I'm going to cut 125 designs for the top of my party favors. Now to do that on another Cricut machine, it might take you a while. However, with Cricut Venture, I'm going to use this 25-inch roll of smart vinyl, and I'm going to use the silver, but it comes in a wide variety of colors, to make this even easier. So I can load this, cut all 125 or so all at once, and then weed them. So this is an example of a smaller design, but you can do this with large designs as well, because repeated cuts can go up to 75 feet on the Cricut Venture. So imagine all of the designs you could cut all at once when you have a 75-foot roll of smart vinyl. That's a lot. So what else are we going to use today? So I have my smart vinyl. I have some transfer tape. Now they make transfer tape in the 25-inch size, but I'm going to use a smaller one because I'm just going to cut a small piece for my little containers here, and you're going to need some kind of container for a party favor. You can put candy, mints, whatever inside of those. I'm going to use a weeding tool, a scraper. I am going to use the auto cutoff blade. I have used this in a previous video, but I'm going to show you how to use it as well. Then really that's it. Your Cricut Venture, a roll of vinyl, a few supplies, and you can make some cute party favors very, very quickly. So first of all, we're going to head to Cricut Design Space and we're going to design our party favors, and I have a fun design idea for you today. And then we are going to see how long it takes Cricut Venture to cut 125 of these little designs. So let's take a look at the design I have in store for you today. So I am going to use the Cricut Cutie as my design example. They have tons of these. If you go to Images right in Cricut Design Space and search for Cricut Cutie, there are tons of examples. Pick your favorites, add them to the mat. Then all I did was resize them to fit the top of my party favor, and I made sure they were all cut from the same color. Now here I turned them all black. However, I am going to load silver vinyl into my machine. Then I have 6 cuties that I like the design of, so I'm going to use these 6 as my example. So I'm going to cut about 21 of each to get like my 125 or so little party favors. So go ahead and click Make It, and then click Without a Mat when you have that option. Remember, we are going to use that roll of smart vinyl to make this even easier. No mats are required. Then I picked a 25-inch roll, so you can choose between the 13-inch and 25-inch roll here. You can use both in the Cricut Venture. I have the 25-inch roll that I'm going to use for this example. Then I changed my quantity to 21 because I have 6 of these. It's going to be about 125, and I clicked Apply. Then Cricut Design Space tells me exactly how much material I need. So it lays the little Cricut Cuties out. I'm only going to need a little over 13 inches of material, which is amazing. Now you do not have to cut the roll of vinyl to this dimension. The Cricut Venture will measure it for you. You just have to load the roll. Then we're going to go ahead and click Continue and hook up the Cricut Venture. So I'm going to connect my machine to Cricut Design Space, and then I'm going to pick Smart Vinyl Permanent as my material. Now I have the auto cutoff option checked, so you want to make sure that this is green, and then it'll tell you to put your auto cutoff blade in clamp A, your fine point blade in clamp B, move your pinch roller to position 2 for that 25-inch material, raise your left and right guides and make sure your middle guide is down, insert your smart material, and then press the load button. So all you need to do is follow the instructions on the screen. Let's take a look at what this looks like on the machine itself. Here's my machine, and I'm going to put the auto cutoff blade first into clamp A. So we need to remove this insert that's in here, and you just push up from the bottom and it just removes. Then we'll add the auto cutoff blade. Now this is not required if you don't have the auto cutoff blade. There is a manual cutoff that is included with Cricut Venture. Now that that's installed, we're going to make sure our pinch rollers are correct. So you can just raise this arm and move it. It is already in position 2. So I'm going to leave it up in order to load the smart vinyl. And then my guides, the left and the right, are raised and the middle is down. So I'm ready to cut. I have a 5-foot roll of Cricut Smart Vinyl. I am doing this on the stand that is made for Cricut Venture. So I'm going to open my baskets on both sides. These are catch baskets that's going to catch my cut. If you don't have the stand, then you'll want to place your Venture on the edge of a table, and there are holders for your roll that's included with Venture that work on a table. So you can do this same project on a table. You don't have to have the stand. So I'm going to add my roll of vinyl to the roll holder that's in the back of the docking stand, and then I'm going to guide it through the guides on both sides. And you might hear it start up. So that is the vacuum, and I just want to make sure this goes through the guides on the front as well. And that vacuum that you can hear will hold my Smart Vinyl down as the machine cuts. Now once I have the Smart Vinyl in the machine, I can go ahead and close this arm. Once that arm is shut, I'm going to press the load unload button on the side of the machine and let the vinyl load in. Now that everything's loaded, I can press the go buttons to start my cut. So now you can watch Cricut Venture cut all of those little cuties. So the cutting parts of this video I am not going to speed up. However, it did take a little less than 30 minutes for me to cut 125 cuties. So that's on average 15 seconds per cutie, and these are intricate designs, so I think that's amazingly fast. So the cutting parts of this video are not sped up. However, I did cut out some of it because you don't want to watch the Cricut Venture cut for 30 minutes. So now our cut is complete, and you watched the auto cutoff blade work. So I wasn't even in the frame, I didn't have anything to do with it. It just ran across and it cut my piece of vinyl off in a straight cut. So now this roll is ready to use for other projects. And my cut piece is in the catch basket of the cart. So I can just reach down, grab it, and I'm ready to use this. Now the catch baskets are anti-static, so this is completely clean. Plus it caught it, it doesn't fall on my carpet, pick up hair, that type of thing. And we are gonna weed these and make our party favors. Now to remove your vinyl from Cricut Venture, you will just raise the arm and pull the vinyl out the back. That's all there is to it. And now I have my roll of vinyl still, and I can just put it back in the box for storage for the next time I wanna use it. So let's see how these cuts look. So I'm gonna go ahead and weed this, and the cuts look so good. Some of these little cuties are extremely intricate, and it looks like Cricut Venture did a great job. So what I'm going to do is keep peeling this back, and then we'll take a look at some of the internal cuts. Because of course their eyes, things like that, are going to have some internal cuts that are going to need to be removed before we can put them on our little gift tins. And I did want to say I did not add those in this case. However, for projects where you are cutting multiples of something, like this example, sometimes weeding boxes can be useful. And if you want to learn how to use those with your Cricut machine, I have another video on how to do that. So you can head to the description below this video, find the video on weeding boxes, and it might help with all this. You know, I'm going to have quite a bit once I get to the end of sticky stuff. So if you are cutting a bunch of small designs like this, weeding boxes can be useful. Now that I've weeded all the way around the outside, I'm going to go back through and get all the small pieces. So things like the eyes, these little cheeks, the mouth. As you can see, these are fairly intricate cuts, and I was able to cut them quickly with the Cricut Venture and all at once, which I absolutely love. And now it's just a matter of weeding all of these and adding them to my project. To transfer each of these, I cut a small piece of transfer tape. I like doing them individually, just one at a time. So we're going to add the transfer tape to your project and burnish down really well. Then we'll just peel the backing paper back, leaving the vinyl on the transfer tape. Once you have that little guy on your transfer tape, you'll just add them to the lid of these little metal tins. Again, just burnish well. Then peel back your transfer tape. Now you can add mints or candies or whatever to the inside of the tin and add the lid. Now this design is for an example, but I do think it's super cute. So if you're throwing a crafting party, think about adding Cricut cuties to the top of these. If you're having another type of party or a wedding, then choose a design that fits your theme. I tend to batch everything when I'm working on a large order like this, so I weeded everything all at once, and I ended up cutting these into strips and then into individual pieces to apply my transfer tape. For me, that was the easiest method. Here are the 6 different designs applied to my mint tins. The only one I altered was the one with the little light bulb. So it had little dashes all around the light bulb, and it was sort of like weeding a ton of small dots on top of eyes, and I just decided it wasn't worth it. So I did remove those completely from the design. Otherwise, all of these cut perfectly with the Cricut Venture. Even the super small, tiny details in the faces in this little Cricut machine. It looks amazing, and I love the way these turned out. Now all that's left is to fill them with my favorite mints or chocolates or candy and give them as party favors. I am starting to get quite the collection here of completed party favors and have, I don't know, 100 or so more to do. So a couple tips when you're batching any type of vinyl project. 2 tips for you. The first is to do a test cut. So anytime you're really batching any kind of project, do a test cut. That way you don't cut 120 and have the cut settings incorrect. So I would always do a test cut, maybe one piece. Make sure your cut settings are correct before you do them all. Second tip is for vinyl projects, and that is that transfer tape is reusable. So I'm able to make 5, 10, sometimes more of these tins with one piece of transfer tape. So I don't need a new piece of transfer tape every single time I make a mint tin. So it's one tip, help to save you some money. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video on making custom party favors with the Cricut Venture. If you are interested in learning more about Cricut Venture, I have a full video on the machine and everything you need to know about it, and I will link to that in the description below this video. So to find all the links below the video, scroll down, click show more if you're on computer. If you're on mobile, you might see more, you might see an arrow, you might have to swipe up on the video. It just depends on how you're watching on mobile. Then you'll see a list of links and you can click those that interest you. So if you have any questions about making party favors or the Cricut Venture, feel free to drop down in the comment section, ask away. I will be doing future videos with this machine, and I might take your comments and suggestions. If you liked this video and it helped you, give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.